drift.
All right.
And love becomes unsafe.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've mentioned
Yes.
about my wiring.
Yes.
As we are starting this conversation,
Yes.
I know we've talked about temperaments before.
Yes.
But for the benefit of that person who either have forgotten or for somebody who's listening to you for the very first time,
Yes.
just tell us what temperaments are
Yes.
and how different they are from personality.
Yes. Now, your temperament is really your biology, your blueprint. So you are either, in general, is what we call extrovert or introvert. And then, of course, there is the in-between, the ambivert.
Yes.
So we have one of the schools of temperament is where they talk about the choleric, the sanguine, the melancholic, and the phlegmatic. So many of us, we will have a combination of two which are more dominant than the other two.
Yes.
And usually you will have a higher, so if you are a choleric melancholic, you may have a higher percentage of one, but that's the way you are wired. So it's the way you think, the way you feel, and how you act.
Okay.
That is basically your temperament. It's the way that you see the world and how you interact with the world.
All right.
So when you think about the introvert, when the introvert is in the world, they are constantly withdrawing from people because that's the way they regain their strength. When you look at the extrovert, they are constantly seeking to be around people. They are socially connecting all the time. They talk a lot. They are laughing a lot. They are activity oriented because that's the way that they interact with the world. And so understanding that base is very important. So you choleric, you are a person of control. You like to control your situation. You like to control the environment, but you are self-driven. You are a go-getter, and you are also decisive, and you are very, we would say, dominant and quite, aggressive.
Okay.
If you are a sanguine, you are talkative, you are almost like a child where you really love fun, you don't like people being sad, so you make a lot of jokes, you talk a lot, you want to connect with people, and it's almost like you feel like if you go to sleep, it's a waste of time. You are missing something. And so sanguines are the people that we love to be around. They are the organizers, they are the dreamers of whatever needs to be done, and they struggle with boundaries, they struggle with depth, so they will try to avoid becoming too deep. The melancholic, on the other hand, is the analytical one. The one who strategizes, the one who looks for places where problem solving, but not necessarily the action of problem solving, more the analysis of the problem. So you might find that the melancholic tends to live in their head a lot. So they are very intuitive. They are seeking to know the deeper reasons for things. And so you can imagine a melancholic who is married to a sanguine.
Imagine.
The sanguine is looking, let's just forget about that and keep moving. And the melancholic is saying, no, we have to fix this before we move.
Yeah.
And even before we fix it, we need to figure out how it happened. And then you have the phlegmatic, who is passive. And the phlegmatic is avoiding, their avoidance is the avoidance of lack of harmony, lack of peace. So they are constantly afraid of losing peace and getting into a space where there is too much argument or disagreement. And so what they will, you will find with the phlegmatic is that they are avoiding deeper conversation. It doesn't mean that they are not deep thinkers. Yes, they do, but they don't express. Okay. So when you are with a phlegmatic and you are trying to get into that attunement, they are consistently wondering, where is this leading? So they stay emotionless. They don't they will do the passive thing, and they look like they are what we call like they are frozen. Their emotions are frozen. And I've had couples who will describe themselves, you are like a stone.
Yeah.
You can never know whether you are angry, happy, discouraged. Nobody can read you. And that is the phlegmatic. Okay. Because they don't want to create disharmony. They want calm, they want peace. Now, all these things that I have explained, they are both strengths and they can also be the things that cause our marriages and our relationships not to work.
And talking about causing our
Yeah.
marriages not to work, as you're explaining,
Yes.
I'm thinking of that woman who's listening to you,
Eh.
and she's saying, Grace, you're just describing my husband.
Yes.
You are just describing my husband. That is who he is. Mwanaume just having a conversation ni shida.
Ni shida.
Okay? Let me ask you, Grace. When does temperament stop being just how I am
Yes.
and start becoming a defense mechanism?
Now, now what I have explained is the way. Now, first of all, that's the way you are wired. So I want, before you look at your husband or your wife, I want you to look at you. Ask yourself, who am I more like, my mother or my father?
Okay.
Context is important so that you stop looking at what you cannot change. And now we say to ourselves, then the clash has nothing to do with we don't like each other, we don't love each other. The clash is because the way that I am wired and the way my person is wired is very different. So what do we need? We actually need skills.
Okay.
What we call emotional intelligence. How do I manage myself? So if I am a choleric and I understand that I like to have the last word, I like to control the outcomes, I like to fix things, I have zero tolerance for failure. I need to look at myself before I start to, because my partner is reacting to me as well. Okay. Even as I react to them the way they are also reacting to me.
To me, yeah.
So you know what? I have spoken here before. There are three entities here. There is me, the wife, there is me, the husband, and then there is the relationship.
Yeah.
And this relationship requires a personality and a temperament and a culture that is a combination of the two of us. So this is the question. Are we going to focus more on the negative, or are we going to focus more on the strengths that will help us create the culture that works for both of us? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the self-preservation is the class I did, and we just finished it, on managing your nervous system. You see, when the choleric is feeling that they are not safe in that space, because you are too slow, you are not problem solving with me, you are not fixing, you just want to be to be in your emotional space.
Yeah.
Instead of us going into problem solving immediately, you just want to sit in your feelings. When the choleric gets frustrated by that, they go into fight, flight. So they go into overdrive, where now there is a lot of talking. So cholerics who are listening to me, allow yourself to listen more than talking. Because the choleric, when they are frustrated, they tend to become like a parent, the critical parent.
Yeah.
Interrogation, there is a lot of instructing, and this is a grown-up just like you, you see. So when you are doing all of that, your partner is experiencing you as the headmaster, the headmistress, the authoritarian father, you see.
Yeah.
And you're not giving your partner an opportunity to be able to express themselves within how they are wired.
Yeah.
So your bigger personality is really the shaping of your temperament, depending on the ecosystem you have grown up in.
Okay.
You see? So when I work with couples or even individuals and I ask that question, who are you more like? And they go like, I've never thought about that. So some will say I'm a combination of mom or dad, then I will say, but which one is more predominant? Okay. Now for me, I am a firstborn, but I am really like my father. And my father was avoidant, and he was passive, you see.
Yeah.
My mother, on the other hand, she's a sanguine. And I can see there is a lot of cholericness in her as well. She wants to move things. But my father gets overwhelmed by this need to move and move quickly, you see. And so what does he do? He pulls away. And usually when the phlegmatic pulls away, they are experienced as you are not interested, you are independent, you don't need us. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But that is not what you are saying. So our communication then becomes very ineffective because we send the messages that we don't mean to send.
Okay.
Body language, actions, and words, they don't rhyme. You are my family, but you are never here. You don't engage in providing for the family. You avoid, and that doesn't work.
Okay.
So it is important to understand your temperament is your blueprint. How you are wired. Your personality is now your blueprint plus experience, life experience.
Okay.
When you come to me as an individual who is saying, I'm feeling stuck, I'm not happy, we start with what we call a life review. So be prepared to come and look at. Some people, they say, oh, I don't remember parts of my childhood. I usually tell them, don't worry about what you don't remember. That doesn't bother you. What bothers you is what you remember.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I sometimes I will say, you know how we do as grown-ups? And what we do is we try to rationalize and understand that our parents did their best. But you see, your inner child is the one who shows up in your marriage.
That is true. Yeah.
The moment you feel that there is a pull away from connection, immediately you go into now the sympathetic nervous system. And the people, I need for people to write to my office and join my March class. Unajua hizi classes, they are not that expensive.
Imagine.
It's lunch.
Yeah.
It's a lunch for one lunch.
Imagine.
You can give up one lunch in order for you to gain. What we are doing is we are working on unbecoming so that we can become.
Good.
And the things that we want to become, even in our relationship, in the attunement. Last week we talked about emotional attuning. And I said attunement is like now the people who are tuned to this program. You are listening, you are curious, you are interested, and you are picking up cues, and you are picking up what you need to pick up. So it is important for us to understand that the way that you are wired, you are going to block the attunement, the tuning in to your partner. Emotion. Marriage is very emotional, my friend.
Yeah.
You know it is.
Yeah, it is.
So the phlegmatic who tend to go, men who are choleric phlegmatic, or they are sanguine cholerics, they tend to do the minimizing of emotions in their relationship, and they do the rationalizing.
Yeah.
They do the opinions, they do the that ile ya juju tu. You see, and they deflate from what causes a marriage to feel fulfilling and what causes a marriage to feel close.
Well said, Grace. I am still stuck here at personality.
Yes.
And you've given me the best definition of personality.
Yes.
Hakuna mtu mwingine ameelewa. Personality is simply your blueprint plus
life experience. Yes.
And indeed, Grace, you are a psychologist. You have answered all my questions in a sentence. I'm even wondering what I'll ask next. But let me take you back to the personality being a blueprint and experience. Is it possible that what we call personality is sometimes unprocessed pain?
Yes. Now, I go back to what you had asked me. And it's when does personality then become a hindrance? And it is what you have said. Unprocessed pain is going to show up during the times when your logical brain is not in control. One of the things that we need to understand, cholerics, they try to control emotions too much by going into logic. So they block their feelings and their vulnerability and transparency by saying things that are coming from just from the mind.
Yeah.
When you don't allow your emotions to be part of the way that you show up in relationships, you are going to be experienced as abrasive, as a choleric, insensitive, and a person who does not care about how other people are experiencing you.
Yeah.
You see? So when couples come to me and we start to do the bleeding out the pain in your relationship, it is usually very powerful, because even the choleric, there is a tool I use, and I send them home and I say, you go write this and send letter.
Okay.
And so it has, what is it that you, so I usually, anger is not the first emotion we feel. So the emotions that cause us to act, anger basically is an action.
Yeah.
So it's coming from disappointment. Grief and loss. In a marriage, grief and loss is the first 5 years. We struggle a lot with disillusionment. We struggle with disappointment. We struggle with discouragement and feelings of powerlessness. If we don't resolve the differences of our expectations, if we don't, by the time we are 5 years in the marriage and then into 6 and 7 years, we are already discouraged because of the resentment. So yes, you are right. Our personality, the way we show up in our current relationships, we are showing up as the wounded self. You see?
Yeah.
And it is important for us to do the work. One of the things that I love about doing couples therapy is when I sit with the man and his wife, and we do that digging deeper into who you are and how you have experienced the marriage that has impacted the way you show up in that marriage. And then I see the whole thing of, I didn't know. The other day, I was very blessed several times this past month, where I have used the thinking patterns to help people understand the difference between fact and feeling, and to say both are important. So when I sit with my couples and I am asking them, tell me how you experienced that event. And I say your feelings are important, and the fact is also important. So there are people who will do the globalizing, that this lady usually never, and if there was an experience where you were hurt by your spouse, you normally globalize it and say she was brought home, she's always being dropped by men. You see? Or he is always talking with women. Then the other person, when they hear that, they go like, oh, wait a minute, I was only dropped once, or I was only dropped twice, and this was the reason why, and you knew. But you know what? Because it wounded the person, they have never been able to look at the facts. The emotions, the feelings, it's what we call emotional reasoning, is what is the memory. Because our woundedness shows up as unresolved emotions. It is not the event. It is what is the emotion that was there. And then after the emotion, I gave it a meaning. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt what I felt. And this is everyone, cholerics, sanguines, melancholics, and phlegmatics. You see? So I felt something when you acted this way. But because these feelings were so painful, and I couldn't process them out, I kept them, and now my memory gave it a meaning. And now when I talk about it, it sounds like that's who you are.
Umeileta vizuri, Grace.
Umesikia?
Wow.
Sasa tukianza kukua hapa, we start, love begins to feel unsafe. So by the time people are coming to me after 5, 7 years, 15, 10 years of marriage. There is the perception of your partner already shifted. You see?
Okay.
Now, me being a phlegmatic, nitajishtaki. I am, yes, I'm passive. I didn't realize that my husband experienced me many times as a person who froze.
Yeah.
You see, he didn't, and because he didn't know how to explain it to me, he would just keep moving until one day we are having a conversation and he says, mi niliona hivyo ndivyo umeumbwa.
Yeah.
So I had no idea that the man was walking around wounded, and he had not told me that the way that he would avoid pursuing the conversation was not because he was okay. It's because he saw my freeze.
Well, Grace, umemaliza maswali. Grace, you are a genius. I give up today. That is exactly what I wanted to know, Grace. How can someone distinguish between healthy boundaries and emotional withdrawal?
You see, now this is why you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
So now, myself, you see, growing up, I used to see my dad whenever they had a tiff with my mom, and it was really something that wasn't very nice. My dad would disappear for 3 days. 3 days. We don't know where he is. He just disappears. Now I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to remove himself from this space where his phlegmatic self experienced a lot of discomfort and a lot of criticism from my mother.
Okay.
And so he would remove himself to go and do what? Regroup. But he went too far. So he withdrew his presence, he withdrew provision, he withdrew being part of, he withdrew connection. You see? But he didn't realize that that was not what he needed to do. He needed to learn that for him to feel for him to find reconnection with his family and his wife, he needed to understand, I just need a few hours of processing what happened yesterday. And then I return. You see? Now, my mother, on the other hand, when that would happen, what would she do? She would sit with it, and she is also brooding over it, feeling rejected, feeling abandoned, and feeling that this person does not care for our family. So by the time my father comes back, when he has calmed down after 3 days, who does he find at home? He finds a lady who has been feeling all these emotions, because my father, when he was dysregulated, he shut down. You see? And when my mother was dysregulated, she would go into overdrive. Watu wanisikize. That is what is ailing our marriages. The dysregulation of our nervous system. And we need to learn how to recover quickly and then reconnect. Because if we don't do that, by the time we are married 7 years, it's time to go. I am tired. I can't deal with this.
And you see, Grace, you've explained so well.
Yes.
Because I really wanted to again ask you, of which you've already answered again. I wanted to know, can two dysregulated people create safety together? Or does one person need to model
yes.
regulation first?
Now, what we need to do is to recognize that you can change the trajectory of your marriage if you learn about these things I'm talking about. So, for instance, if you are choleric and the way that you enter that space of conflict is usually you get so dysregulated, what do? Cholerics, let's be honest. You say things you don't mean. You act in ways you don't mean. And you send the wrong message. And then later on you come and say, I am very sorry. But then you keep repeating the same thing. and you are destroying the fabric of your relationship. So your love is not safe. So you can go buy flowers, you can go do whatever you do, but your partner is wounded, and you are not, because you moved on. You are not aware that your partner, who probably is melancholic, you wounded them, and they keep wondering, what is it that I did wrong? And then what you did as a choleric, you were not empathetic. What is empathy? Empathy is being able to answer the question, I wonder how my partner experienced me when I was dysregulated. Wakati nilikunywa nikakuja tu nikatapika maneno. You see? So that ability to look inward as a choleric and ask yourself, how is my partner experiencing me? That can help you to start the trajectory of moving away from doing the extra. I usually call it extra. I usually say, feeling anger is okay. That is the way God wired us. We see God being angry in the Old Testament over and over again. We are made in his image. But when God decided to create an answer for himself through Jesus Christ, it assuaged what? His anger. He no longer deals with us according to the way our sins deserve, because he sees the blood of Christ. He sees the sacrifice of his own son. This is what I'm going to ask people. You need to create, because you are wounded. If you see yourself as wounded and your partner is wounded, and you guys are dysregulated when there is conflict, you do need to ask yourself, what can I do for me? So that when my partner comes in as dysregulated, I can stay regulated. Because if you don't join a fight, the fight will not happen. But it is not avoidance. Now, so the choleric, you need to chunga maneno yako. Ask God to give you kichungi kwa maneno. So what do? You do anger management. 101. Walk away. Put water in your mouth. Don't speak when you are high. And when you are drunk, please come home and sleep. Don't speak. And the melancholic or the sanguine partner, please don't speak to your husband when he is drunk. Hakuna kitu kubwa, usipomuuliza umetoka wapi leo, si ati kuna kitu itaenda nini. Nobody is dying.
Exactly.
Si amekuja nyumbani.
Yes.
Let him sleep it off. And you hold on to your what? To your self-regulate. You see, because if you are not drunk, but you are drunk with anger, it is easier for you to deal with that, to control that, than the person who is drunk.
That is true.
You see what I'm saying? So you can tell your, and this is not for him, this is for you. And it's not for her if she's the one who's dysregulated. It's for you, but I'm not saying avoid forever. I'm saying for this particular moment, you need to avoid the experience. Unajua nini, my friend Bramwell? Experience is what is wounding us.
Exactly.
So if I poke your eye because I am also angry and it's tit for tat. Tit for tat, yes. I have to live with that experience.
Exactly.
But I can protect myself from that experience by what we call postponing reaction. Kesho si amekuja amelala. Si kesho asubuhi ataamka. At least in the morning he will have pombe itakuwa imefanya nini? Imeshuka. Now you can express yourself. But people also need to understand, if you express yourself, don't control the outcome. Your goal is to express yourself. Your goal is not to express yourself so that so and so can also.
Okay.
Na unaona wakati ninaambia watu, be authentic, develop the skills of emotional intelligence. Unasikia mtu ambaye ni choleric ama melancholic, they immediately gaslight themselves. Lakini nikifanya hivyo, lakini yeye ata, and I'm saying do the right thing so that there can be a shift. Now, I usually say, sometimes you need to ask, is it helpful? Is it progressive? Is it adding value or taking away value?
Exactly.
Now, mujue hivi, when you start to be in a marriage and a long-term relationship where it has become tit for tat, you guys have a toxic relationship. No matter how we angalie, it's toxic because you have lost the ability to control yourself. So you think you are in control, but you're not.
Thank you.
And understanding the nervous system and how now the choleric will be abrasive, the sanguine will detract from depth.
Okay.
So mukianza kuongea vitu zile za deep things about your relationship, them they are talking about to jokes hapa. Uliona ile TikTok ama wanaingia kwa simu and they start to scroll on TikTok, they start laughing, and you guys are trying to have a serious conversation. So active listening for the sanguine and the choleric is very important. And we talked about active listening last week, where we said instead of thinking about your answer, be attuned to where they are coming. Start looking at people and wondering, what are they feeling? How, when they tell me this, what are they thinking? So that you can stop thinking about how you are feeling and you can give room for the other person to tell you. So you understand people. Melancholics, please stop this endless analysis. Allow yourself sometimes to just deal with the problem where it is, instead of going into this analysis where you withdraw because you say, where will you understand? And then you shut down and you are not talking. You are stonewalling for 3 or 4 days. Don't do that. It is not helpful for your relationship. In order for you to attune, just ask the question. By the way, you have been repeating this behavior a lot. And every time I ask, we are not able to get to the root of it. And that is what my desire is. Let me ask, what is the positive of this repeated behavior? So that now when this happens, how does it add value to you? That is me as a melancholic being attuned to your emotional need.
Good.
Badala ya kushinda nikisema ninakwambianga uache kuongea na Peter, unashinda tu ukiongea na Peter. Yani you want to hurt me. Peter is more important to you than me. You see, we don't have to do that. Let me ask, what is it about Peter that really pulls you to him? Tell me, I'm interested, I'm curious. Phlegmatics, you need to understand that there is no threat to conflict. So engage. Don't withdraw, don't freeze. Again, use active listening. Ask, tell me more about that. Or express how you are feeling. I want to listen to you. Phlegmatic to a choleric. I really want to listen to you. I really want to have this conversation with you. But your tone of voice is causing me to feel threatened.
Okay.
Can you, kind of reduce the harshness? I will listen. And you choleric, when you hear that, stop going into fight mode. Somebody just sent you an olive branch. Don't continue in the fight. Breathe. Listen, hear, and say, my partner has just told me how they are experiencing me in this moment. Maybe I can keep quiet. Maybe I can breathe. Or maybe I can tell them, so far, what have you heard me say? Okay. So that now you get feedback, because you have just been and the sanguine too. You've just been talking and you are not hearing your introverted partner.
Thank you, Grace.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful. Hey, anasema Bramwell, good morning na nazidi kujielewa sana Bram. Say hi to Grace, huyu ndo mwalimu Anthuku. Thank you so much. Just enjoying the topic with Grace. Kindly share her number. She will. Just discovered that I am a sanguine and a choleric boy. Anarudi kusema after she listened to you again, after listening more, I am now a sanguine. And calling besides.
Yes.
That is why you need to join Grace Community. It is a beautiful community. Grace, how can we join
Yes.
this particular
Now,
community?
please write to my office, 0797 490 404, and ask them you would like to get the flyer to join the community.
Yes.
The marriage, I'm calling it Marriage by Design. And once you join there, I have other groups there that you can see: Healing, Community with Grace Karaoke, so that you can be able to see that there are some things that I do that can be very helpful to you.
All right.
So 0797 490 404, and people can also join my TikTok, Therapist Grace Karaoke. On Facebook is the same, Therapist Grace Karaoke, and Live by Design with Grace Karaoke is my YouTube channel. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of information.
You know, I'm still wondering. Kweli kuna mtu uko nje anasema I'm giving up on my marriage and Grace is
don't give up yet.
Imagine.
Come. Six sessions of couple therapy
only
to be able to bleed out the pain in your relationship.
Okay.
Clarity.
Exactly. Bleed out the pain of your relationship.
Yes.
You can only do that on 0797 490 404.
Yes.
That is the number. Grace, thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
My day is made. Wacha niende nyumbani. Thank you so much, my dear listener, for your company. Let's do this again tomorrow, God willing. Have a productive Wednesday.